My natal chart is a Venus in Gemini, so Venus in Gemini, opposite Pluto. What does that mean for me in terms of relationship? You are a Cancer Sun, a Virgo Moon, and a Libra rising at the 29th degree. Oh, you have a fun personality. My goodness. Now that I know you're a Cancer Sun and a Virgo Moon, I'm a little bit more concerned. What that means is that your relationships, in terms of love relationships, unfortunately, are not going to be conducive to you experiencing deep transformation. A lot of the success that I've had with manifestation has been the direct product of me being willing to self-examine, me being willing to be scrutinized, me being willing to present myself as a specimen under somebody else's, magnifying glass so they could look at me and tell me what I'm doing wrong with my life and why I'm so messed up. I've created all the messes in my life that I'm complaining about. Because when I went to seek healing for the first time, I went so that they could tell me that I'm perfect and everybody else is fucked up. That's what I thought. Like, I'm doing all the right things. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. How come I'm the only one doing all this stuff? How come, everybody's so messed up, right? That's why people go to therapy. Because I think the therapist is going to tell them, everyone is messed up. You're wrong. Typical Virgo, right? And in case you didn't pick up on it, I am a Virgo Mars. So this is typical Virgo behavior. Virgo thinks they're above reproach and the world is messed up. So you being a Virgo Moon, I know you have some of that in you, which is why I'm sharing this. But what you learn when you're actually ready to engage in the work is that there's no way that you can be in an environment and experience an issue in the environment and you not play a role in it. It just doesn't make sense because your energy is a part of that environment. And Virgos often have a problem with self-reflection. And in part, it's because Virgo struggles with emotional depth. It's not necessarily because they want to dodge responsibility, because Virgo is actually a highly responsible zodiac sign, but it's that they don't have a good understanding of their emotional selves, their spiritual selves, and they don't understand how their spiritual selves and their emotional selves play into the reality that they're manifesting. And because they don't understand it, they ignore it, they minimize it. Virgo's very good at gaslighting. Okay, nobody can gaslight better than a Virgo. They don't. Maybe a Gemini. No, I think Virgo takes the cake because Virgo's a lot more composed. I think people expect Gemini to be a little bit more emotionally unhinged. There's this perception that Geminis are crazy. That that isn't a perception that people have about Virgos. People expect Virgos to be decent, reasonable, predictable, safe, stable. So when a Virgo gaslights, you don't see it coming, and you certainly don't assume that they're trying to be toxic. Even though they are, they will pretend they're not. That's the beauty of gaslighting, right? It's like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. What do you mean? I didn't say you're crazy. I said I was good. I don't know what you do here. I'm not sure what was said. So it's that game that Virgo plays, right? So it's a whole lying by omitting information, but not overtly lying. Yes. I say all of that to say the lack of emotional depth leads to their own lack of understanding of who they are. Virgo Moon typically grew up in the home where they have difficulty connecting with one parent. Virgo Moon typically has an easier time connecting with one parent over the other. This is often due to the other parent either being physically absent, emotionally absent, or physically ill, which prohibits them from being able to bond with the Virgo child. So then the Virgo child ends up bonding very, very heavy with one parent and not having that same bond with the other parent. What that creates for Virgo Moon generally is this notion of the grass being greener on the other side. So even when Virgo is in a relationship, they always feel as though they're not getting what they deserve. And it's hard for them to feel satisfied and fulfilled in relationship because there's this perception that the other part that they're owed is missing.
For more astrology content, you may follow all of our YouTube astrology channels. The first one being at Intuitive Healing for Astrology 101, at Styled Under Libra for Love, at Astrology Weekly for horoscopes and manifestation, and lastly at Styled Under Virgo for medical astrology. You may check out intuitivehealing.com for astrology readings as well as healing crystals, and make sure to check out our manifestation group on Patreon at patreon.com/intuitivehealing. Catch you soon on the next video.